And, there's a lot to get into. And so we're going to just need to get into this piece by piece. And I think one of the big kind of storylines right now is the starting four position, because it's kind of like a movie that was written that's really cliche, and you're sitting there, just kind of playing along with it. Like, we know Murray's the best player of the essentially three guys that could start at the four. KZ Okpala and Trey Lyles. Talk about them in a second. But it's like it's like a predictable movie. You kind of have, especially with the whole aspect of the rookie who's not going to be handed anything. And I don't know. It just seems like I know how this one's going to end. And Murray is, to start with him, I mean, he's playing like one of the best players on this team. And again, it's early, but everything from summer league to here, he's just looked like an NBA player. And of course, maybe something happens when the lights come on in regulation or in the regular season. But I don't know. He just looks so solid. He's just plugs right in. He'll do what he needs to do. When he got plugged in early into the first quarter against the Trailblazers, because Okpala wasn't, I think he had an early foul, and he wasn't playing great in the first half, really at all. And Murray came in, and I think Murray missed his one shot that he took. And he wasn't like filling up the stat sheet anywhere, but you could tell the team was playing better. He went in there, he was plugged right into the situation with the starters, and he did not try to do too much. He plugged right in. He just helped them. And I think he ended up in that quarter, while Okpala had a minus something, or maybe maybe just a marginal +1 or something. Keegan Murray had a +11 from just like his presence being out there. The Kings were obviously playing better. And then you take into account when you do need him, you have him coming off of screens or whatever, or the split cut action or whatever, getting him open. He has so many ways to score the ball, and it just seems like that 3-pointer is just, he's right up there. Was one of the best 3-point shooters on this team, it seems. And there's so many things he can do, whether he needs to be a factor or not, a big factor or not. I mean, it just seems like whatever you need him to do, he's going to do it. And he's confident, and he's poised. And I don't know. I feel like I could talk about Keegan Murray all day. And I feel like you could do the same. So, how good has Keegan Murray been?
I mean, Keegan Murray's been fantastic. It's from summer league through 2 preseason games. I mean, you can argue in the 2 preseason games that he was the best player on the floor each night. I mean, 5 for 6 from 3 on Sunday. And I mean, what was he, like 4 for 6 or 4 for 5 on the Monday before? I don't remember exactly. I feel like that was a little long ago. But man, just that 3-point shooting alone, he's shown defense. He's shown he can rebound, even get some block shots, some steals. He's just he's just so much better than I imagined. I mean, I was hoping he'd be good, and at one point in his career, but he's just showing it right off the bat. It's so quick. Summer League MVP, and now just showing up to preseason against actual NBA talent instead of summer league, whatever you want to call those. I mean, I guess some of them are NBA talent, but a lot of people are fighting for spots in the league. So it is nice seeing him do it against Jeremy Grants and Damian Lillard's out on the floor. But it'll be interesting to see if he can replicate all this in the regular season. Of course, that's when it matters, but yeah, I mean, nothing bad to say about Keegan, but talking about that starting 4 position, I mean, I think KZ Okpala has been starting at the 4, and you got Trey Lyles and Metu and Murray. There's kind of like your 4-4s right there. I mean, you start off with Murray, but I mean, I'm going to start off with Okpala and Metu. if this team wants to be a legit team, a legit playoff pushing team, then Akpala and Metu should not see this floor very often this year. If they are, then I think that's an issue unless they've shown a vast improvement. They're just, they're just not that good. They're not like top of the rotation guys. Definitely not starters. I mean, Metu started what, like 10 something games last year.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you a lot, and I think they're far past that. You got a guy like Trey Lyles who is a good player. I would not want him starting on this team. But I think he's a great piece off the bench. But you have Murray, you have this guy who just seems to like fit in so well with this team and what's needed, especially adding that 3-point shot around Sabonis and Fox. He has to be your starter. If you want to be a legit team, he will start. I get it. Brown probably wants to, I don't know, make him earn his minutes, and it is kind of interesting seeing Okpala start, just because he's probably going to be the 14th or 15th man inactive each night. Um, I don't know. Mike Brown and him are kind of close from you know their national or their Nigerian national team days, and but I mean, I think it was always Murray's job to lose, and after his last two preseason performances, it's his.
Yeah, I think to stick with Murray for a second, it's just like you said, it's the the idea of making him earn it. I've noticed that some fans almost think it's a little ridiculous, but it's like whatever. It can't hurt. It seems like Murray thrives on that kind of mentality. Um, I think you're right. He's proving that he's one of the best players on this team, and to maximize that, it's important for him to start.